I mean, I will see how it look, but hello once again. Welcome back to what is it, six
This is episode 6, Boxing
of
Topics.
topics? Because you never
Woo!
know what you're gonna get.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Yes.
It's a
Okay.
fun thing. I definitely, for anyone who's like sitting there wondering, should they go into expressing themselves, go ahead, go for it. And don't even think about, oh, it's scary or what if people don't like it. As long as you like it. That's been
Most important thing.
yeah, because there's been times I've let friends pitch in or alter certain.
Influence you into
Yeah. And
altering
then I
something.
just, and it always be like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good idea. Then I lay awake at night like, that was the worst idea ever.
Oh my God. That, or you do it and then you regret doing it because you be like,
It's not what I
what?
wanted to do.
Right. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I mean, the worst thing I think could happen if you go ahead on and do something the way you want to is that it will fail. And you can always pivot and try again.
Learn from it and then be like, all right,
Right.
see what works. But yeah, that's definitely the most important. As long as you like it, because you like it, you'll put in your best effort, have a fun time, and then people that will just it's infectious. People will just they having a nice time. I'd like to I'd
Exactly.
like to have some nice time.
And you never know. Like, if you do it authentic to yourself, you never know how many other people like minded will find you.
Hmm.
And then,
Because
yeah,
because they always say there's plenty of fish in the sea, or there's always someone out there for everyone, and it's true. That's why comedians are so you know popular because there are thousands of people that are like, that's funny.
right. I mean, I've listened to it's some comedians that I like D.L. Hughley. You
A
know,
good one.
every joke that he tells, I'm not rolling over laughing, and but for the majority, yeah,
You know?
yeah. So it's like and Tom Papa,
Oh my god.
it's been some of his specials where I've cried laughing from start to finish. And then there was a couple of them where at least I got a break in there. Everything wasn't dire funny, but it was like okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you always just keep on, doing what's authentic to you, and then that way you can really enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a fun little lesson to start this off. Uh
Yes. We were just talking about this a second ago, and I was saying how you ever wish you could go into other people's phones and delete your information out?
like just wipe the slate clean like I never
Just
existed on your device.
eggs. Oh God, I wish they when. Hey, developers, when you gonna get an app for that? I don't want nothing else. I just want to erase me out of their device. Just completely eradicate me completely. It's just gone. So they get up one day, get ready to call me for the 87th time again, or text me for the 300th time again. If my number could just be gone, just gone,
As if it never existed.
as if it never
You've
existed,
got mail.
and they could never find it ever again.
That'd be
Yes.
funny too, like if they tried to type in your number and because you're like that could work. Like if you're registered under like a certain list of do not let this said region or whatever call me, then it's just this number does not exist. Something like that.
Oh God, I would love that. I would just love that. Even if it was just like if you could go on your contact list and pick that particular person, and then it say, okay, we've eradicated you from their phone. I'd just be like,
Pretty much if blocking
yeah.
someone actually was blocking someone.
Blocking does not work, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've had some stellar stalkers where I block them on a number and they will get another number to call me. Or I've blocked them on like Facebook or some of my medias and they will get a whole nother profile to still make contact. Like, ay.
I think one of the remedies behind that is probably like IP banning.
I don't know what it is because I'm not technical like that, but whatever it is, I'm for it.
You know?
You know, jeez. Cause I swear I'm nice, but I don't beat around the bush. And if I don't want to be bothered with you, I will tell you. And then so once I tell you that, what words do you think you're gonna say that's gonna convince me to do otherwise? It's not gonna happen. Once I make up my mind about something, I tend to stay right there. And then usually by the time I change my mind, like 4 years later, then it's too awkward to call you back anyway. So it's
Me though, I do find it funny that I don't have like a certain level of awkward. I used to, but now, um, whenever it's like a new group or a whole bunch of people, like I tend to just walk in as if I've already been there, and I do that quite a few times. Like like for some reason they have this implemented on PlayStation. If you're friends with someone and that friend that you have is in a whole different party, you could still potentially join because you're friends with that one person.
oh wow.
Yeah,
So
that's
your friend is like a tracker? Like you
yeah,
can
pretty much. You're just like, yeah, I know exactly where you are, and that's weird.
That's
But
cringe a
it,
little
it
bit.
is like wow. But that happened a few times. I'm like, you know what? I'm bored. I just walk in. Hey, everybody, how we doing? Who is this guy?
Okay.
It's always harmless. I just walk in, see how everyone's doing,
I
and then leave
mean,
out.
you're not for something like that. If you're a person that's which I consider myself to be a harmless person, I've never, stalked
Use
anybody
yeah.
or used technology to try to hurt or harm anybody. So if you're a harmless person to have something like that, I mean it's a cool thing.
Mm.
It's just for those people who are not harmless.
Malicious
Man,
individuals.
they make it bad for everybody
No,
else. It's like
so
why?
that's. I do also find it funny that you can like whoever you have friended, you there's a setting to where once they go online, you'll get a notification. So that way, if you want to conversate with them or whatever, it's a nice little. This person's here. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think Facebook got something like that too.
Mm.
Kind of lets you know, or if the person is online, something like that. I know definitely in Messenger.
Yeah, yeah, definitely have
Yeah,
like a nice little green circle next to them.
yeah, they let you know your friend is online.
Yeah, or active or was active
Yeah,
recently.
I mean
I,
something like that. That's cool.
yeah, and I do find it funny that one friend that moved away from PlayStation out of nowhere, boop, saw him online. I'm like, what? Whatever I was doing came to an immediate halt because it's like I haven't seen you in forever. It's been what 4 years? And you just pop up randomly like, oh, I forgot my things. Ah,
Yeah.
where were you? Where'd you come from? How does your thing still work?
So do you have like okay, like for friends that you maybe fall out with, or if you just be like cancel them, do you still like if you're upset about the situation and maybe let's just say 6 years later you're over it, would you reach out to that person?
Honestly, it's really just my curiosity though. Just go, how is that person doing? Because the okay, it really does depend on the individual because I have a lot of different things in place to where if certain people don't meet certain criterias, I'm not reaching out. Like I have a whole thing about first impressions. Like if you're a good person, the second I meet you, then all right, cool. But if you're a butt face, well, you'll just be a butt face, and I'm out. Or if there's like a really, if I have a lot of good pros or good moments with you, then it's like maybe one more could happen. So
See, you are just so. That's one of the things I love about you. You give out chances. Me, you're dead to me. Once you, I'm done. When
but
I say I'm done,
mm,
that's it.
yeah, and that is one of the things. But at the same time, it depends on why we fell out. Like if you do something personal or you damage something that I highly care about, then it don't matter what your first impression was. You could have gave me $18 million, but you kicked my cat in the face. Get out! Like I'm not talking to you anymore.
Right. But I used to be like that when I was younger. It's now that I'm older. It's like I don't know, you could drop a lifesaver in my car, and if my car is immaculately clean, that's it. We're over. I'm done. Not a second chance. Nope, I'm done.
Yeah,
I guess you get older, you get less patience for BS. Or no, I think I'm highly allergic to
I
BS.
know I am.
Yeah, so if it's anything, I just, done.
Yeah, and I know like I had immaculate patience beforehand, but now due to people, my patience has dwindled a lot. So now, and then it's so bad to the point where I'm just like, I'm not taking care of nobody else's kids. I'm done. I'm done babysitting other people's children. And that's how it felt. It felt like no matter how old they were, even if they're older than me, it felt like I'm the one babysitting. Which is how I felt when I was working at that car place. Like, what? Like, you ever get that? You're like in your 20s or 30s, and somebody in their 40, 50, 60s acting like a complete child, and you're having to sit there and go, but you're my superior. How are you?
Man, yeah, I've had that. Or you just be shocked, like looking like
How
age
did you make
does
it
not.
past high school?
No,
You
age
know,
does not guarantee wisdom. I
that's
found that
so
out.
weird too.
It
Like,
used to
what?
be they portray every older person as wise.
Wise man.
Yeah, nada.
When I was your age,
Man, that is
we had
not what
harder
happens.
times. No, not anymore. It's so weird. And then on top of that, it's off-putting to see adults act like children. Like not even like just normal. I mean, like throwing a tantrum or running around, making a lot of noise like Rugrats. And it's like, wait, what? And it's even more off-putting when you have someone who's supposed to be your superior that does not know what they're doing. And not only that, if they don't understand the basic, which is basics, like there was one time working at this car place or whatever, and I got injured, of course, heavy machinery. And at some point, I had to take some kind of like pain relief medication, but it made me drowsy. And along with it, on the bottle and in the note in my hand, it said, while taking these, do not perform, don't use equipment, don't, work with heavy machinery, any of that stuff, because I can be a liability and danger to others.
And
So,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. So I'm working with a whole different manager dude or whatever, and I'm showing him this paper, like, hey, it says I can't work with machinery or heavy machinery or whatever. Like, you got anything like that I can do? Like, I don't know, maybe marking off parts with a chalk. And he was like, he looked at the paper, he took it from me. Okay, but like this paper, was only good for yesterday. Yes, but I'm still taking the medication today. Yeah, but the paper is still, no, no, no. Look at me. I'm shaking the bottle on his head, like in front of him. There's still pills in here. I have to take these. I can't work while taking these. But the paper, forget about the paper. Look at the pills. Look at it's on the bottle. So I'm showing him this, and after a minute, me telling him this, it stopped going in one ear and out the other. It finally gets through the thick skull of his, and then he proceeds to look me in my eyes. Keep in mind, we're building cars, not actually. We're it's the fact that we're building anything, but mainly cars. And my medicine said can't use equipment. This man looks at me dead in my eyes and goes, "We don't use equipment here."
Yeah.
Huh? I don't know about anyone else, but everything you have is equipment. Like 99% of everything you own is some level of equipment. Cooking equipment, gaming equipment, entertainment equipment, equipment. I don't know what this man thought. Like if we use drills.
I can tell you what the thought process was behind that.
I
Because
couldn't.
I can tell you what it is. It's because if you couldn't do the job, he would have to do it. So that's why they don't care about what you could have came in there with one arm missing.
I have an
And
arm cast on.
don't matter. Hey, you could have came in with the arm missing and actively bleeding. As long as you would have kept it in a certain area where they ain't got to step in it or whatever, they don't care. Because if they have to do, they want to sit at their little desk and flip through their phone all night. They don't want to get on a job. So
Why'd they
you're
show up?
there. You're there. They don't care if you're injured.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they don't care. It's all about making sure they don't have nothing to do. So that's how that setup is. It's just terrible. Yeah, I know about all that. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
But yes. Uh
Like it was so weird, man. I tell you.
that's that whole thing about, people have no compassion for anybody else's suffering. I've never been like that, but you know, a lot of people just don't care. They do not care. Not only can you be suffering, but they will sit, watch you, and eat popcorn while you're suffering.
They'll listen to you crying and everything. And then the crazy part, there are people out there that are just so misguided or just straight up evil that they'll see an individual crying and go, "Hey, can you hand me the water filter? Some good tears." Like, man,
Ew, gross.
that's how it is.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody told me, it was like you could be working yourself to death, and the people left over will take and put you on the grill, cook you, and eat you. Some people just don't care. They just don't care. So, yeah, you have to love yourself enough to give yourself permission to get to make sure you're okay. To give yourself permission to be selfish and make sure you're okay first. It's okay to be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, but this one is funny.
Oh, jeez.
Ah,
Okay.
so have you ever had? Well, you just kind of touched on it too, where people say stuff to you and you just be like looking at them like with the face. Okay, so here's one of my stories. I called because his brother was going to pick up food for me. So I called to place an order, and it was a corned beef place.
Okay.
And I asked them for a 1 pound sandwich.
Oh.
So the young lady told me they don't have 1 pound sandwiches.
Okay.
And I was like, now mind you, this is a place I've ordered from multiple times. And I'm like, okay. So I said, you know what? Instead of arguing, I said, I'm sorry, what type of sandwiches do you have? She said, well, we have a 4-ounce sandwich. I was like, okay. She said, we got an 8-ounce sandwich. I was like, okay. She was like, we got a 12-ounce sandwich. I was like, lovely. And we have a 16-ounce sandwich. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, can I get the 16-ounce sandwich then? And so she said, yeah. She asked me how I wanted all that. I was like, okay. So my kids, the ones that were here, was dying. And it was like, oh, Ma, I know you're going to call her out on her stuff. And I was like, nah, first, let me let your brother pick my food up first. I was like, I never have a problem with telling somebody off at a restaurant. I'm going to get my food first.
Because if you tell them off beforehand, they're gonna, oh, okay. So I don't know the difference between 1 ounce and 16. Oh, okay.
Not 16 ounces, right?
Not 17 ounces.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm going to get my food. But then after he picked it up, I was like, you know what? I just let it go. But I've had that happen where people will tell you stuff and you just be looking at them like, okay.
It'd be so bad to the point where you start looking for the cameras. You be looking for the guy with the little bucket hat talking about some, you just got punked. You're just waiting for it. But it never happens.
I had another incident where I went through the drive-thru, and at this time, this restaurant offered any size drink for $1, right? So I told the girl that I ordered my meal, and I said I wanted a large drink. So then she said, "Oh, well, the medium only, the meal it only comes with a medium." I said, "Yeah, but I told you I wanted a large," and I was like, and then they had put on the receipt large. And she kept saying, but it only comes with a medium. I was like, but y'all say any size. You just pay for the drink. You can get any size drink. She's like, yeah, but the meal comes with a medium. And I was like, dude. So I said, you know what? If to keep this down, can I get the manager? And I was like, can I get a large drink with my meal? And they was like, sure. I was like, see, it just, you see how simple that was? It's like, it was like you could get it. If it was an upcharge, I'm fine with that. But y'all said at any size drink, and it was like, oh my God.
Speaking of the whole like upcharge or whatever, I remember there was one time, I forgot what I did well, but my mom wanted to take me out to get some soul food.
Mm.
And she found this black owned business. It was like, you know what, let's go ahead and support our fellow kin. I was like, all right, I don't mind that, spread the love, this and the other. Now, off rip, the building felt like it was like in the corner of a bunch of buildings, like off to itself. Didn't really have a lot of color or any kind of pizzazz, nothing. We walk in, it almost looks like the lights barely work, and it's broad daylight. So I'm like, what is even happening? Whatever. I don't even pay much attention to it. Now, whenever you go to get any kind of food, 9 times out of 10, they have food on display.
Wait, before you even go there, they have the food ready. Mm-hmm. It's in the steamer. It's on the steamer table. You can see it. They start lunch ends at 3:00. We got there at 2:15. It was 2 people ahead of us. 2:15. Food in the steamer table. You can see it. And lunch ends at 3. Continue.
Which none of that info, I didn't know about whatever schedules they had or whatever, because it didn't matter to me. But yeah, you already know. They'll have the food out, and especially with soul food places, you choose from whatever food you want right there, or you look at the menu and there's something in the back. Cool. So this lady, she's like, hey, what would you like to have?
By the time they got to us, because we got there, I'm going to reiterate this. We got there at 2:15. 2 individuals ahead of us. They had the food in the steam tray. I don't know if anybody out there is correlating what I'm saying, but the food was there. It took them 55 minutes to serve 2 people food that they ordered that was right there in the steam tray. Continue.
So, with their lackadaisies performance out of the way, they proceed to ask me, what did I want? I'm seeing whatever other items. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get a meat, a vegetable, a side, or whatever, try to keep it balanced, get a bit of everything. And at some point, I'm eyeballing mac and cheese. Everybody likes mac and cheese for the most part. So I'm like, I'm going to get myself some mac and cheese. So I tell her, ma'am, can I also have the mac and cheese? She proceeds to immediately rebuttal me with, it's not lunchtime yet.
She said, lunch is over.
Yeah, like she said that. And I'm like, I'm looking around too, like, no, I said mac and cheese. I ain't asked what time it was. And I'm just like, so does that mean I can't have the mac and cheese? So then my mom has to decide, no. What she meant was, because it's after the hours of lunch, it's going to be an upcharge. And I was like, how did you even understand that? Because all I heard was, it ain't lunchtime yet, in that voice. And I'm like, I don't know what that means correlating to said food. Like, was that a sin? Like, I don't understand. It's like, it gave me the same thing as like, if you go to some place and you go, may I have extra sauce? And then they just freaking out. Like, did I do something wrong? I don't remember if we got the food or not.
We ended up getting the food because it was a restaurant that I was introducing you to. It was your first time being there. And I was going to show you a restaurant that had decent food, and the lunch was a decent price. But after that, we won't be going back.
We didn't go back.
We'll never go back. And, people fail to understand that if you're not advertising, your word of mouth is your best thing ever. Now, where they messed up at is they didn't screwed you over. I won't bring any of my other children, which are five additional. And then they have kids. My kids are not going to bring their kids up there because they was rude to their sibling. So it's like you mess yourself up. And I'm a band mom. I know hundreds of kids that call me mom. I run into them, and I'd be like, "Oh, I got some good chicken from here, da da da." We talk and stuff like that.
And
They
then
won't
like
be getting mentioned.
you have friends who have kids. I
That
have
all
friends who
that.
have parents. It's just a long chain of people where it's just like,
Yes. And when you screw one person over and you think that's okay, no. Nowadays, people are connected to so many people now, and with the internet, social media.
especially when you get like a fan base. Let there have ever been a moment where like a very popular individual was like, "Oh, these guys were rude to me." Like,
What if Keith Lee would have came in there?
oh my god, yes. He wants to be like, they was rude and I didn't like it. Well, then, oh
Nah, you
well.
screwed,
You
right?
know, like,
When you own a business, you are supposed to treat everybody just like they are your $1 million customer. You have to. When I've worked in customer service, I used to work in customer service. Everybody that approached me, I always had the mindset of this person is about to spend $1 million in this establishment, or think of them as about to tip you $1 million. What would you do if you was working with somebody like that? And that's how I approach every person that I deal with.
yeah.
Yeah,
That,
unless they just off rip was rude or nasty, then I just be like, okay, let's hurry up and get you out of here. Have a great day.
which with me, I will say, I was just being myself around people. Like, I had like a security job at one point where I was like helping people around in this club or whatever. And at some point, while at said nice establishment, it started raining. So I was like, "Hey, do we have like an extra umbrella or whatever?" And me being a security guard, I'm over here shielding people from the rain with the umbrella. I didn't have to, but I mean, it was just one of those. I'd want people to do this for me. And there were like tents and everything.
So yeah, sounds like something your mother taught you.
Because,
I,
you
I just
know,
threw that in there. Go ahead.
I mean, you did harboring the treat people how you want to be treated, and I was like, you know what, that fits with my ideology. I like that. So that's how I was, and it was so funny that I wasn't even expecting to get a tip. It was just a whole group of people because I was only hoping a few people. Next thing I know, this whole party bus of people was like, "Hey, let's get this man some tips or whatever." Y'all got some extra money. I was like, "No, I mean, I don't have to, but okay." You know, and I'm
Yeah.
over here shielding people to their car and everything. And this lady starts recording like, "Hey, I need to come down there because they got good service like this." Unfortunately, they did not call me back in to do security work because it became a sorority thing.
Seniority.
Seniority thing. I keep mixing those two up.
Sorority thing. Woo! Now that would be
That
funny.
would be, but yeah, it was a seniority thing, and
Last man in, first man out. Yeah.
I don't believe anyone else up there was, doing the extra mile like I was. Not
I
even
mean, and
close.
that's their loss. That's their loss.
And I feel like people will probably feel that. Not to, I'm not to be, toot my own horn, but I do feel like sometimes when I leave places, there's like that big, crap. He was doing all this. We need two people.
Oh, I definitely had a job where I was not appreciated. And when I left, and I went back to visit after I left, and they was like, "Oh my God, they was naming some of all the stuff I did." And I was like, "Oh yes. Plus I did da 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 da." They literally had to get two people to do my job when I left. And I was like, okay, well, and all I wanted was an extra $2. Now you gotta pay two salaries.
you know,
Ha!
like, and then you don't even act for that much, and people be on your head so hard, like, hey,
Because in somewhere, some management where they teach people to be managers, they got this idea that if you ride a hard worker, we talked about this before, that they will do even more work. If you just tell them, oh, like you make it seem like you befriend them, and then you try to seem like you're disappointed. That don't work on me. Now I'm the rebel kid. I'm not gonna work harder for you to please daddy. Nope. No, you don't like me. I'm no longer. Then you know what? Forget you, daddy. Nah, I'm gonna be the rebel kid. from now on. Not only am I not going to be the exceptional employee, now I'm going to be the exceptional pain in your rear end. How about that?
I do enjoy being thorns sometimes.
I'm not a thorn. I'm going to be a big rusty nail. And it's going to be 3 inches long. And it's going to be stuck.
I'm pretty sure there are some people who have that, like, have an active imagination. Just went, stop. No.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not gonna be a thorn in your side because thorns are little. They just didn't. No, I'm gonna be a 3 inch rusty nail, and even if you get me out, there's gonna be some repercussions behind it. You ain't gonna get off scot free.
I mean,
No.
to be fair, I never did say how the thorn was, but
Yes.
Also, one thing I will say, I never understood whenever people would be all upset towards the LGBTQIA plus. Never understood that because it's like it doesn't affect you, you know.
That's
Like,
with everything.
yeah,
That's with everything. I mean, if it's somebody out there that's not harming people, minding their own business, leave them the heck alone. All you doing is being a big old bully. That's it.
hmm
I don't know why bullying is not tolerated in schools, but it's okay as
in
long as you're,
reality,
yeah. And in reality, it's okay as long as it's a group that everybody is picking on.
like what?
Right.
That's
That's that dumb stuff. Like, well, if everybody jumped off the cliff, would you jump?
well, I mean, Bill
Right.
Clinton did it. Like
So
what?
it's like, stop being stupid.
You know,
It's like, leave people alone. If they are not bothering you, quit bothering them.
yeah,
What difference does it make?
it really doesn't make any difference. And then, if, in my opinion, it's actually a wonderful thing because it brings more variety. It's a lot more differences in the world. You know, it's not just culture here, culture there. No, it's a whole bunch of different dimensions. And now you are like, oh yeah, everyone's not just one note. It's a whole.
Oh, and then the big excuse why they pick on these people, bully. Oh, you know what? Quit. I'm gonna quit using nice words. Why they bully these people and try to terrorize them and pick on them. And oh, the Bible said. You know what? The Bible also says a lot of stuff about leave people alone, love thy neighbor, all this. But my thing is, until God comes down here and throws me the keys and say, "Hey Jay, you're in charge," I'm keeping my righteous or judgmental or whatever opinions to myself.
Yeah, they are personal opinions. And
Even though I don't even have that. I don't judge people, and I don't none of that. None of that. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me retract that. I do judge people. I judge people who harm children. I judge people who harm the elderly. I judge people who harm the
QIA plus.
LGBTQIA plus community. I judge people who hurt and harm anybody who is minding their own business, living their life, wasn't harming nobody, and you hurting them. I do judge those people.
Mhm.
So my bad. I do judge, but I only judge people who are doing hurt, harm, and maliciously acts to other people.
Yeah. Me, I don't like bullies. I never did,
Hate 'em.
never will. Um, Shoot. And then on top of that, I do say this to my friends a lot of times whenever they'll say something like a little crazy, but nothing harmful. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, don't judge or whatever. And I tell them, look, I don't have the schooling, the experience, the wig, the gavel, or the dress to judge.
You so silly.
Because I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
However, just like as you said, people with malicious intent or bullies, I'll judge you all day.
All that.
Because,
All
I
that.
mean, come on. This is
Right.
what you wanted.
Yeah. You and then they kill me too. Like they'll say terrible things about other people, but if you say something terrible about them, then they be I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
no.
that's why I'm a big advocate for. I never will talk about someone. Well, I won't bring up anything that will hurt somebody, but especially like as a countermeasure, I'll never bring up anything that I don't have, because that's the immediate rebuttal. Like that's how you get yourself hurt. And it happened one time in elementary where some kid was talking about my dad, And beforehand, this is before I even met the man. So I was like, nah, how dare you? I haven't even met the man. Anything could have happened. You know what? Your dad, before you even finished, he started crying. I'm like, what are you crying for? Everybody, his dad is deceased. Then why did he bring up dads?
People in glass houses. People in glass houses.
And then when I start throwing stones, you got upset. Like, then talk about my mom. Mix it up a little. Like, no, you started this,
Mm-mm.
and I'm giving you the same thing back. Like,
a lot of people who do dirt, they can't take the same dirt back, which is funny to me. Like,
can't take the heat out of the kitchen.
Your butt out of hell, so you can't take the heat.
Can't do the time, don't do the crap.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but
it's people over my head.
Yeah, so it's like whatever.
But you know what? Now that you said it, because I ain't want to start it with it, but now that you said the scary B word, the Bible, woo, that's like another thing. Where it's like when I was saying like everyone's story is different. It's like 80,000 versions of that one book. That is the most parodied book ever parodied.
Yeah, and it's like worldwide too. So it's not even the same book when you leave out of this country, but it's a lot of similarities, but all of it is different. So it's like,
it's such a wild thing.
I'm not gonna get into religion the way I feel about it because it's a lot there too, where it's too contradictory.
Yeah, same thing like with politicians and stuff, man.
All that, you preach love and all that, but not if you're this. We'll love you and accept you, but
however,
right.
If you eat hay on Tuesday, but not on Wednesday, well, you're going down. Like, bro.
It's like I can't get with anything that's. If it's a religion and you're supposed to be about all love, all inclusion, all that, but you don't include this
certain
person
people because of their differences,
and
it's not even like a bad difference. It's just
what
different.
What is normal?
Oh yeah, that's another thing where it's like, oh, they want you to be normal. What is normal? And one thing that I've said, right, is. For me, normal, or at least the norm, is something you'd expect, something that's, that won't make you just, I don't know, freak out upon seeing it. Like, okay, perfect example, gravity, that's normal. People conversating, normal. People get into a tussle. Unfortunate, wish it wasn't normal, but unfortunately it is. But if somebody's car all of a sudden flipped over and started flying in the air, that ain't the norm. That's not something that you just expect to see.
Yeah.
Or Transformers out of nowhere. Like, Optimus Prime is real?
Yeah. And you know what? I like that analogy that you used about normal because people come in different shapes, sizes, colors, forms, all that type of stuff. And it's like...
And that's the norm.
That's the normal. Exactly. That's the normal. I just, I hate when people, try to, I just hate...
the Photoshop normal of the wife and a wife and a husband with one kid, maybe two, on a picketed fence, house on a hill, and one dog in a red car. And it's always a random van or a little, meet like, really? Trucks don't exist? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't like the society version of normal. I really like, and I'm glad that even that I'm older, because like older people, when I grew up, they always had that, they set in their ways, Once they believe in something, that's it. No change in their mind, no open to nothing. I feel, and I'm so happy that I am an open-minded individual, that I'm always open to learning. I'm always open to new experiences. I'm always open to new people. I'm always open to everything. I don't just set a box and be like, this is it.
Change is scary. Really?
No.
Because
staying in one spot is scary.
Yeah, like whenever people say things like change is scary, but then at the same time will swap out things for something different. Like I always find it fun whenever it's like the extreme of it. But it's like, nope, nope, change is I'm staying right here. And then somebody be trying their darndest to, have them expand their horizon. And they're like, you know what? I've been listening to what you've been saying. So instead of green deodorant, I bought red deodorant. I'm a rebel, huh? No, no, no. Get out of the house. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll never understand that because those same people, it's a little hypocritical. Will they'll say that and still have some level of change? They'll invite a new person. They'll change their location. They may, click on the TV and watch something that's not the exact same program they've been watching for 365 days in a row. Like you can't say change is scary and then allow it. Like I mean, shoot, stick to your guns then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so much hypocritical stuff going on in this world. I'm not gonna get into that because Lord, you know exactly where I'm going with the hypocrites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, it's a lot of that goes on where people say one thing and do
And then
another.
their actions are contradictory entirely.
Now, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, say what you mean and mean what you say. And I
Mhm.
tell y'all that all the time too. Say what you mean and mean what you say. No, I'm not gonna
Beat
you are
around the
never gonna
bush.
catch me. I'll say one thing and then I'm gonna do something different. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And I always stand on my mistakes. If I make a mistake, yes, I did that. I will be accountable for it. Yes, I did that. I didn't realize, or I thought at this time, or
Like
whatever.
I was
Yeah,
misguided.
yeah. It's all because nobody in this world is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You are and can and will make mistakes.
That's normal.
So
It's
I'm
human.
yeah, that's the human era. So I'm open to like, hey, yeah, I did that, but I didn't know any better.
You know.
Or I did that, but after I learned better, it never ever happened again.
Hmm.
That's when you know somebody has really learned a lesson and has really made a change.
Hmm. Which people are able to change.
Exactly.
And if people can change for the worse, which has been happening a lot, they can definitely change for the better.
Dang show can change for the better.
It's the same thing of like whenever you like tell a kid like, hey, if you can make a mess, you can clean it. Just do the opposite.
And then me, I am the type, I am totally rebelled out. Whatever is supposed to be the normal, I purposely steer
Do
away
the
from that.
opposite. You know.
Purposely do that. I always do.
Mm,
Yeah, I make it a point. So it's like, you ain't gonna never catch me with the humdrum, plain Jane way of life.
trust and believe. If I was and this is definitely gonna be a recurring thing when I be like some oh man, if I was your other gendered child, which I'm already happy as I am, so that's not gonna switch. But trust me, if I was your daughter instead of your son, I would have wore a suit to my wedding or just anywhere, just a suit. Eh,
I mean,
what's a
women
dress?
do that all the time.
Yeah,
But you know what? Let me explain because he keeps referring to that. So let me give you the download on what he keeps talking about. And if the doctor was right. So when I had Devin and they announced, oh, it's a girl, which I was excited about because I had already had three boys. Was I up to three? No, I was up to two. And I only had one girl. And I was like, yay, let's round out the number. So they announced it was a girl. And then the doctor was like, oh, wait, wait. No, the nurse said it. And the doctor was like, wait, wait. He's peeing on me. And I was like, no, no,
I
no. But yes, they had it wrong. I don't know what he was doing.
don't know,
He was keeping something tucked.
I guess. I
He
don't know.
was, he was doing the drag queen tuck before we knew what a drag queen tuck was.
Crazy.
So yeah, so then it was like, no, Devin was a boy. So it was like, okay, okay. But yes. So
That's
yeah,
why a lot of times I'll just make that joke like, well, I mean, if the doctor was right the first time.
exactly. So he keeps making that joke, and it's like, okay, let's clue everybody in on the inside joke.
Man,
That yes, Devin was announced to be a girl originally. Turns out, as we can see,
Low.
not a girl, right? But
Mm.
yes, yeah. So,
Which
oh,
I will say, I'm sorry though. You know, like I do wish for you that he was right. You
no,
know.
I mean it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you still got a healthy baby at the end of it.
Yeah, that was the main part. As long as I got a healthy baby, well, we had our bumps, but yeah, as long as I had a healthy baby in the end, and that's all that really mattered. The hoping for girls, boys, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then now we know that just because a child is born a gender
Doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean they're
they'll
going to stay
stay
a
the
gender,
gender.
right?
Which I remember I saw like some like documentary. I don't think it was a documentary, but it was some video about this dude who was born a guy, and his body just morphed him into being a female. And I'm like, I've never known that could actually be a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. You have people
I thought
that's
you had to go through surgery in order to, but that's crazy.
no, you have people that's born like both sexes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they can start off one way, but then go towards the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then what parents would do when they were babies, because they didn't know any better, doctors would encourage them to pick a gender, and then they would perform surgery on them to pick do a gender.
Because they'd be like, oh, if we leave both in the
They're gonna be
ramifications.
confused and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
people they didn't know any better, and and then too it depends. Doctors are human. If you get a doctor where he's a bigot against double
double
dual genders, then you people will trust doctors and listen to them.
because it's like, I don't
Sometimes,
know what I'm doing.
right? Sometimes they just as lost as you are.
That's what I was talking about the last time. Like, man, just because he's a doctor doesn't mean,
Don't
just
mean,
because it's your profession, don't mean you're proficient.
yeah. Listen to your heart. Sometimes, talk to other doctors. Get multiple
Or
opinions.
other parents, other like minded people.
Yeah,
Which,
and once again, that's the great thing about the internet. Now you can talk to more than one person.
mm, which
Yeah.
I'll definitely say, because I'm an odd child and I enjoy like a whole bunch of just random stuff, like it's the goofy randomness about life that I love so much. So, in all honesty, if if I end up gaining a dual wielding gender child, oh my god, that'd be so cool.
You are so silly. But yeah, my thing is, oh, and I heard like what was it? I think it was one of the drag queens talking about how they think gender parties are the worst things ever. And I was like, why? I mean, it is nothing wrong with I think if you're a progressive parent and you have a baby, you're celebrating the gender because you're happy. Okay. But then if the child doesn't stay that gender, I saw something that I thought was great where they had another gender reveal.
Okay, yeah, I was even thinking like, so you celebrate them transitions, because
Yeah.
like when you're a parent, you celebrate everything about your child. Their
Every
first word, their first
yes.
walks, their first potty, them leaving the school, their A's, their accomplishments, their dreams, their goals, their college, their girl, their boy, everything. Because it's like,
Everything.
yo, my creation's creating.
Exactly. And I'm the type of person I celebrate all occasions. So
Mhm.
for me, I think it's cool if you have a gender reveal party when you're pregnant. And then later on, you can celebrate the transition, then the
Mhm.
second gender, or whatever it is. I would celebrate that too.
Mhm.
I'm
And
cool
then,
with everything.
oh yeah, definitely. And shoot, what did what did Adam Sandler say in Transylvania? A boy, a girl, a vampire, a unicorn, whatever. And I'm
Green,
like,
purple,
you
I
know,
love you no matter
no
what.
matter what. Oh my
Yes.
god. And then I love how they be having those videos where it's like, oh, I'm your mom, I think you're gonna be a girl. I'm your dad, I think you're gonna be a boy. If I ever am in one of those videos, I already know exactly what I'm gonna say. Oh, hello there, I'm your father, and I think you're gonna be a happy child.
That part.
Yes, sir.
Happy
Yes,
human.
sir.
Yes. Whatever you are, I'ma
And I'm gonna
love
stand
you
by
no
it
matter
to the
what.
end and
Yes.
beyond. Ah!
Yes.
I actually look forward to being a dad.
Not one of those mamas and grandmamas that will pop her earrings off to fight for you. I don't
Oh
care.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And if you are 4 years old and you a little boy and you see some glitter high heel, little ruby red shoes you want to get, we ain't gonna get them high heel, but I'll get you your ruby red glitter shoes, boo
You
boo.
know, like that's man. Because I will say, and I believe this decision did shape out how I would carry out the rest of how I treat people because I don't like seeing people alone. Right? Like, I mean, if you want to be by yourself, I can read the room. You enjoy being by yourself. Nice little helmet. Understandable. Got you. You know, I enjoy being a turtle sometimes too. But when I have people who enjoy company, but they're by themselves, I'll go in and be the company because it's like, you know, I don't like being by myself, and a lot of people don't either. So, and the very thing that started this whole thing, wild story, is I'm like 5 years old at the time, and I walk upstairs. To my right is my two brothers playing a video game together, playing one of my most favorite games of all time. But then I look to my left, and it's my lone sister playing by herself with, you know, her little like Barbie dolls and everything. And I'm like, oh. And I had to literally make a decision, and I knew at that young age this decision would shape out how I'd be for the rest of my life. So I went ahead and hung out with my sister, even though I was like, I kind of don't want to, but nah, it's what she need. So I go to hang out with her, and you know she's having me play with Barbie dolls or whatever. And I know she has like a bunch of like guy dolls or whatever. So I'm like, oh, can I like use Ken? She's like, no, you're gonna use Jasmine. But I don't want you're gonna use Jasmine. I it was so funny too because she's over here like, oh yeah, we're about to go to the mall and everything. What do you think, Jasmine? Well, personally, I think say it correctly. Well, personally, I think
Miss Bossy Boo,
you know,
when she was little.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, my sister had a hilarious idea, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to prank our brothers? I'm up for a good joke, and I'm curious. Let's see where this goes." So my sister gets this life-size doll. For anyone who's already heard the story, you already know where this is going. So she gets this life-size doll that's around my height. Gets the doll's dress, gets a wig. Don't know how she got it. Gets some
Probably out of
shoes,
my room.
probably, and some makeup. And she puts all that on me. And for those maybe an hour or two, I was her little sister, and it was so funny
She's your
seeing.
drag mother.
I guess. And it was so funny seeing my siblings' reactions at the time because they were so awestruck, so stunned. Like, when do we get to?
Mm-mm.
And I won't lie, I felt very pretty.
I
I
mean,
really did. Now I understand why some females wear makeup. Like, yeah, I get it.
it
Well, some people.
accentuates what you already got. It just brings it out. I
Mm,
think. I don't have a problem with makeup. I don't
yeah.
think it's nothing wrong with it. And whether you do or you don't wear it. Some people, you know, even if you are gorgeous without the makeup, still, you know, you put on a little lip,
Mm,
little eyeshadow, a little, you know, mascara. It's still
some
cool.
random breeze. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
me, I prefer without makeup because I enjoy, you know, being around and loving the person for who they are.
But
Like,
you're gonna get a lot of
yeah.
not makeup all the time. When you
Mm.
in a relationship, oh, it's gonna be plenty of days with no makeup.
I remember there was one dude, I forgot who said it, but they were like, some, for me personally, whenever I'm dating a girl, first thing I want to do is take her out on a date to go to a pool party.
Oh yeah.
Just to make sure all that gets so I can see who I'm really dealing with. I'm like,
Oh
that's
yeah.
so funny.
I heard that. It was another comedian talking about, oh yeah, I'm taking it straight to the beach. Yep. Yep. Wash all that other stuff away. Yep. I've heard that. So it's like, yeah, I get it. Cause yeah, when you get with the girls that do the makeup, all day, every day. And they be telling, oh, I'm gonna show you right quick, and even sped up the videos 20 minutes. It's like that's not right quick. That's a long
A
time.
very long time.
Very long time. I don't have that kind of time. That's cutting into my sleep time. Ooh. Yeah, so but
But
you know, not to anybody that does all that, that's beautiful. Do
I just
you.
personally can't.
Personally, for me, I cannot do it.
No, sir.
Yeah, I
Power
need.
to you.
Yeah, I need sleep. I always need sleep. So it's like spending an hour or 20 minutes doing some makeup. Ooh, nope. No.
And I do find it funny that like they took pictures, right? And as a kid, I did care a lot about my social image. So when they were like they was all in the band, and they were like, "Oh, if you don't join the band, we're gonna show people this photo." And I was like, "No, don't do that." But now, man, let me see that photo real quick. I was such a pretty little girl.
So
Moral of the
silly.
story is, hey, don't be afraid to try something just random, even if you feel like you may not like it. Just go for it. And if you don't like it during the process, then you can, yeah. But
Well, what I tell people, because we know I wear the wigs, and I don't wear the normal wigs. I wear anime color wigs. The more crazy
very
the color,
the better.
the more I love it. And I'll be out there, baby. And I don't care what nobody thinks. If I love it, that's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, sell the garment, darling. Yeah. So if I'm out there and I think I'm looking good, that's all I need. I don't care nobody else's opinion.
It is the confidence. That definitely
Yes,
helps.
I definitely have. I got enough confidence for like 18 people.
That's
To
all
be
I was
honest.
about to. Got enough
Yeah,
confidence for this whole neighborhood.
yeah, I do. I have tons of confidence. But what I was saying about that is that, when you go out and you be your authentic self and everything like that, why do people worry about other people's opinions? And it's like what you said when you was dressed up, and now you like, hey, whatever. It's like, feel just, if you are self-conscious, if you one of those people who feel like you can't do it, or you're not, because people tell me all the time, oh, Jay, you are so brave. Yeah, okay, if that's how you want to put it, that's fine. But I think I'm cocky. I don't think I'm brave, but I think I'm more cocky, because not only do I wear it and be thinking like, ooh, I'll be like, psh, this is me. You don't like it?
Go on,
So
take
yes,
photos.
move
It'll
on.
last
Because
longer.
yes, but if you are afraid, this is my advice. If you're afraid to do it on Halloween.
That definitely, yeah.
Do it on Halloween. And then you'll come out on Halloween and then just see what people say.
Which they're all going, oh my God, that's
Yes.
a great costume.
Yes. And if they like, oh, you look great, you look beautiful and all that, then you can come out another day and do it again. And then they'd be like, oh, you still look great, girl. I thought you was doing that for a costume. Or dude, I thought you was just doing that for a costume. No, I was just trying out something.
Just trying to see
Right.
how it goes.
So yeah, that's a great day. That can be your try out day.
Mm.
You can have whatever it
Or
is.
like for any party too.
It's not even just that day. They have Halloween stuff
Halloween marathons
all the way up into
throughout
Halloween day, so you can wear whatever it is you want to wear. That
October.
whole
Yes,
month of October, that can be your trial month, and you can go out and see. If you're not brave or if you don't have the confidence, and if you don't have the confidence, I will mail you some. Because I got plenty. I got enough confidence for a whole nation.
And then on top of Halloween, there's also all those different events like Comic Con, HumanCon, all
All that.
CommuniCon, all those different cons that accepts all the crazy, all the wild. Get out there, go ahead, try it. And if it helps, go ahead and grab a friend and have them do it with you.
Exactly.
It's always fun to do things in pairs.
Until you feel confident enough to do it on your own. But if it's the whole thing and you're scared to do it because of what people might say, try it out on those, just like he said, all the cons, and then Halloween, the month of Halloween. And you can just step out however you want to. If you've been looking at those high heels and you've been wanting to get them for the longest, strap them puppies on and walk out the door, and you good to go.
Shoot, and if you need, I'll do it with you.
That part, yes. The confidence, baby. If you're missing out on the confidence, Like I said, I will mail it to you, or heck, I'll come to you and we'll do it together.
You know,
I have no problem with that at all. None.
but yeah. So on that fun little light note, we're gonna go ahead and end this fun episode off.
Yes. And don't forget
To
to,
like, subscribe, and share.
yes, and talk about everything with other people. Talk about what we talked about. And make sure you comment. And hey, any questions,
Comments,
comments?
concerns.
Yes, anything you want us to talk about? However, just yeah.
Yeah, like random dreams or
Yes.
all types of different stuff. And heck, it don't even have to be related to this episode. It could be related to several episodes ago because I do look at my comments. So it's
Yeah.
always fun to interact with the community. So
Yeah. We
And who
we
knows?
we looking forward to hearing from you.
oh yeah, definitely. So with that being said, this has been Box of Topics
Woohoo!
because you never know
What
you're
you
gonna
might get. Yeah.
Till next time, everyone. All right, now I got.